Yahoo Finance. What I'm saying is, people are starting to notice, and we were ringing alarm bells for the last several years, like going back years. The movies are in trouble. But now mainstream media is taking note. Let's take a look at this from the Yahoo Finance show. Here's a clip. And the title of the clip, "Can the movie industry be saved?" Okay, let's take a look.
As somebody who sits inside the industry, all of this, what does it sort of reflect about the backdrop for the business of making entertainment right now?
No, it's a great question. It was fantastic to listen to those analysts talk about it from the financial perspective. But the fact is, there's also a huge creative and human perspective involved with this. Just in the last few years, we've lost 41,000 jobs here in LA County in the entertainment business. Obviously, further consolidation will further mitigate the amount of jobs that are here. And then on top of it, we're looking at a consolidation in the creative aspect of Hollywood. Even if Paramount takes over Warner Brothers, you're probably going to see a downsizing in the amount of output that is put onto the screens as far as the movie business is concerned. And if a Netflix picks up a Warner Brothers, they might actually just more pick through the library and do redos of a lot of the IP that they would acquire in such a situation. So we're seeing a lot of nervousness and a lot of people really on pins and needles in terms of how this is going to play out over the next few months.
Check out these. Well, I'm going to play some more of this, but check out the stock prices here.
Yeah.
WB.
Also, quick clarification. David Ellison's gone on record saying that if he were to acquire Paramount, or if Paramount was to acquire Warner Brothers, that he wants to increase up to 30 movies a year, which is like more than double what they are doing right now. So if anything, for theater owners, Paramount is your best bet because they want to go up to 30 movies a year, which is far more than they are currently doing, using AI to process data of what he thinks the audience wants.
Oh,
let's play more of this, and then we'll talk about it on the back end.
And Chris, we were looking sort of, obviously, you know, the movie business is huge out there on the West Coast. We were also looking at Atlanta, which had been such a growth area for the filmed entertainment business over the past few years. But we've now been seeing the number 69 of things being shot there really decline as well. It's been happening in LA, to your point. What's been contributing to that besides this consolidation that you're talking about?
Yeah, well, what's really contributing to it is the fact that we don't have a national policy in terms of film rebates and subsidies. So it's really hard for the United States to compete on a production cost level with the 70 plus nations around the world that do have nationwide subsidies and rebates. So there are certain markets around the world where you can actually get as much as 50% of your production costs back by the end of production. Here we have states with very aggressive incentives and rebates, but they simply can't compete with that. And then when you look at countries, say, such as Canada, with a currency that's much weaker than the United States, you can actually see even a more amplified effect. So when you look at Georgia, for instance, we've lost 50% of the production that was done there since 2022. That's about $2 billion worth of direct economic activity. And Marvel was a big part of that. And on every Marvel movie, there's anywhere from 3,300 to 4,500 people that work on those crews. That's a lot of jobs.
Yeah, it is a lot of jobs. As you know, President Trump in the past has floated an idea of tariffing films that come into the U.S., although it hasn't happened. I'm not sure how it would work from just a mechanics perspective, but it sounds like you think that incentives would be much more effective than something like tariffs.
Well, look, what we're trying to do is incentivize the studios to keep production here, which is just one industry in order to bring back manufacturing, right? We're trying to do that in the automotive space and technology and various other areas of industry. Hollywood's just another one of those. So what we're trying to do is get the studios to say, hey, look, it's smart for us to keep production here. How do we do that? Well, there's both a way to do it through rewards and also through punishment, just like raising a teenager, right? That mix is going to make it a way that studios will evaluate and decide to keep it here. Personally, I'd rather keep it on the reward side. more incentives, more subsidies, and a way to make it easier and more cost effective to shoot here in the United States. I'd like to avoid the punishment side, which is really the tariff scenario.
Yeah, that's the crux of that. What do you guys think?
We'll see.
I mean,
what happens.
the problem, as I've seen it, is Hollywood is behind when it comes to, number one, making movies that we want to watch. You know, that's the number one problem. Like Steph said earlier, there are 1,000 different entertainment options right now, and a lot of it is right there on your phone. So a lot of people are like, well, why do I need to go to a movie theater and watch any of this? You know, I have TikTok, I have Instagram, I have YouTube, I have anime that I can watch. I have 1,000 options. Like, what's going to bring me into the theater? It has to be quality films.
And what
that's
you
the
just
only
said,
thing that's going to get me in.
Yeah.
who is currently picking the movies is not working. So when I said Paramount's going to use AI, I didn't mean they're going to use AI to make it. They're hiring creatives. What they're using the AI for is to sort through their vast troves of data on us, which is a whole nother conversation, but to pick and to see hard data of the shit that we like and then make movies and hire creatives and stories based on that, which to me, I think that would do a far better job than the people currently picking the Viewmaster movie or the Labubu movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're trying to compete with free, because YouTube for the most part is free entertainment, how do you compete with free entertainment and say, hey, okay, come out of your pockets, $20 and go to and drive somewhere to watch something instead of just enjoying something at home for free on your, or maybe not even with your phone. You could have a great setup at your house. All right. 70-inch screen, surround sound. It's like, why am I leaving my house for any entertainment at all? All right.
Well, that's
video
just
games. I forgot to mention video games. Video games have shot right past music and film in terms of being the biggest entertainment option for most people. So you're talking about you're competing with so many different industries. There's no way in the world you're going to do that given us second-rate movies. Hollywood has to make better movies. That's the only way they can
You're speaking to value. If you're going to spend $20 on a movie, that movie better be worth $20. And if you look at the movies this past weekend, I don't know that it's worth $20. Now you see me, now you don't. Is that
not at all?
$20. You could choose to go to McDonald's for $20 or to a movie.
By the way, and games are now falling into that. We can all talk about Black Ops. We can't, but I'm saying like games are falling into this where they're starting to make shit and it's not getting guaranteed purchases.
Terrible.
So my point is, this is a danger of losing touch with your audience.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, we've talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it before, but why does it cost more to shoot a movie or a television show on a soundstage in Los Angeles than it is to fly everyone over to Europe and shoot it there?
Yep.
It tells you that the regulations that Hollywood, that LA and California has put on these productions are oppressive. And the idea that we're going to take California tax dollars and put it to pay off these overinflated regulations makes zero sense to me.
Yeah. It's the same reason no buildings have been rebuilt along the Malibu coast. Regulations. You have to pay everyone before you even start to spend money on your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Mel Gibson was talking about it. Yeah, I mean,
Adam Carolla.
Fly the whole crew to Bulgaria.
Yeah,
right.
That's not sustainable, man. All right, to fly the entire crew, put them in a hotel, feed them for 3 days. It's cheaper to do it that way than to film across the street in a sound stage. That's insane. Yeah, so that's not sustainable. If they want to fix that, if they want to save the industry in Hollywood anyway, they got to fix those tax credits or incentives, or they got to tell the unions, hey, we got to redo all of the contracts.
Look at Georgia. Remember, it was supposed to be their new Hollywood, and then they just fell to the same greed that they turned it into another. And so then they went to they've pushed everyone out. Yeah. So I mean, Trump aside, tariffs, you need to start fixing things here because people are going to keep escaping if there's nowhere to come back to.
I don't think that the Trump tariffs will ever happen.
Right.
But the sentiment behind it is to, hey, Hollywood, your industry's in trouble. You need to fix it. And tariffs in that way are a bad idea. However, what the spokesperson on the Yahoo Finance video said is, to give a positive, some sort of positive reinforcement. That would actually work, but it's getting Hollywood to finally think about what can we do to save the industry. I'm glad Tom Cruise can't do all the work. The Pope can't do all the work. Like,
and the other thing they can't do is keep.
And I think, let me finish one last thing, Jay. Sorry about that.
No,
the industry needs to recognize it's in trouble. This industry might go away. And it won't be, movies will never go away per se, but theaters could. At one point, at the height of drive-ins, there were 6,000 drive-in movie theater screens across the U.S. Currently, there are 300 to 400. Now, drive-ins still exist. They play movies there. It's a great experience. Through the whole pandemic nonsense, I was at the drive-in every weekend seeing new movies. Okay, I never stopped going to movies. All right, but theaters could go away. It can definitely shrink, which means smaller budgets, whatnot. Anyway, sorry, DA.
No, I was just going to say that the one thing you can't do to theaters, especially the theaters, they got to figure out a way to make it cheaper for people to go to movies because it's too expensive. They can't just keep hiking up the ticket prices. And then who they're coming after? They're coming after the movie fans. All right. So we're ultimately going to be the only ones left going into the movies to watch movies. Everybody else, like the general audience that's like, I can take it or leave it. They're going to stay at home and wait for it to hit streaming. That's what they're going to do. And then, movie theaters are absolutely going to go away because they're going to be like, well, what's the point of this? You know? Movie theaters are pricing people out, man.
Yeah, they're pricing people out. It's almost reached that level because I feel like the movie theaters have already sort of priced families out because it's a lot to go to the theater, you know, with a let's say like a family of 4, a family of 5 buying drinks and popcorn and everything along with the movie ticket. It's become like a special thing that you do now, going to the movie theater. So it's already kind of happening, you know, where it's becoming like this special thing. I remember when I was younger and we would go to the drive-in, it was like this special thing that we would do because there weren't a lot of them. And it was like this drive that we would make to go to the drive-in. And I feel like now that's going to be the state of of movie theaters. You know, it's going to become, they've had to do a lot of things in order to bring people back to the theater. And raising their prices is pretty bad because they are pricing people out when you factor in the cost of the ticket, cost of drinks, cost of food. Going to the theater, it's quite a bit. And if you're going to the theater to see a terrible movie, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And like we've been saying this for a long time, Hollywood putting out having these huge inflated budgets, and then the movie that they're putting out is garbage. It's not going to be anything that the audience will latch onto and love and will last a lifetime. It's not sustainable. We've been saying that for years. This whole thing of, you know, the woke virtue signal and the terrible movies, the mediocre scripts, the bad CGI, it's not sustainable. People don't want to spend their hard-earned money on a crap film. It's almost like Hollywood is making these bad films under the like assumption of, oh, it's fine because movies, a ticket still costs like $8. When in reality, they cost like 20 to 30, depending on what kind of movie, depending on what theater you go and see it in.
Quentin Tarantino has said that the movies were blue collar, and even the subjects of movies reflected the people who went to the movies, blue collar workers.
Well, remember what we're still recovering from. Like the same thing with the video game industry is like all the activists came in who didn't know how to do anything and just did agenda, and now they're gone. But unfortunately, we're now left with like just a riddled empty of people of talent that all got pushed out. And so the people remaining, like a lot of the vets don't know how to do the things, you know, like look at how they were able to do Godzilla. The reason they were able to do that so cheaply is because they were a bunch of professionals that knew what they were doing and with whatever it was to accomplish miracles, as opposed to we've just seen 200 million plus movies where
everything that comes out of Disney is like a $200 million budget.